Do you ever feel stuck between urgency and waiting? Like the task before you is so important that it needs to be done right now? But at the same time, all the voices in your life, all the signs and all the signals are telling you, not yet, hold on, wait just a minute. See, I think this balance between urgency and waiting is something that we all deal with. I'm Pastor Jacob, and you see, this subject between waiting and urgency is something that we all deal with at some point or another in our lives. In fact, it's addressed in the gospel itself. John chapter 11 tells us of a story where Jesus' friend Lazarus is sick. His sisters Mary and Martha come to Jesus. They say, hey, the one you love is sick. And they're wanting him to come right then. Right then. They think it's urgent for Jesus to go to his friend Lazarus. Well, it tells us that Jesus didn't go right away. He waited. And when he decided to go, he got there to find that Lazarus had already been dead, that he had died and was in the tomb for 4 days already. Mary and Martha come up to him running. They're upset, and they say, Jesus, if you had only been here, our brother would not have been dead. See, they still want to work on their timeline of urgency, and they say to Jesus that your timing is wrong. You messed up, Jesus. But Jesus doesn't respond to their urgency. Because Jesus understands that if something is important here, it'll be important here. The things that we think are urgent, if they really are important, they'll be important later. So he says to them, after taking a moment to cry with them, he says, did I not tell you that if you believe, that you will see the glory of God? And at that time he calls out to his friend Lazarus, they roll the stone away, and he calls out to his friend Lazarus, get up and come on out. The dude had been dead for 4 days already. In the tomb for 4 days already, and Lazarus got up and he came out. Jesus didn't have the same timeline that we sometimes have. So if you're stuck between the place of urgency and waiting, understand, 1, that you're not alone, and 2, it's been dealt with before. It's been addressed by the gospel, and there is hope for whatever it is that you feel is urgent. See, a week ago today, I started recording a video that I feel is of the utmost importance. I started trying to record a video that talks about what to do when your friend mentions suicide. It's a serious topic that I think so many people need to know about and need to hear about. I wish I had more information on what to do when I was a teenager. There were a few different people who called me and talked to me when they were considering suicide, and I was completely unprepared. Luckily, my friends didn't commit suicide, but I don't want anybody else to be as unprepared as I was. So I feel an urgency behind making this video about what to do when your friend wants to commit suicide or says that they're thinking about it. Yet I follow the same process of recording the videos that I've had so far. And for some reason or another, the file wouldn't transfer into my editing software. The file is unusable. And I was trying to balance my time schedule between this and between that, and I've got all these different things going on right now, and yet at the same time I feel this video is so important that it needs to be made. My wife stopped me and she said, have you prayed about it? And I hate to admit that I hadn't yet prayed about why it's not working. I was just getting frustrated. Needless to say, eventually I prayed about it. And in praying about it, I decided that the timing is not right. Sure, there's somebody this weekend that needs the information in the video that I'm going to make. It's not like the information's not available. I just haven't talked about it yet. Surely, there's somebody who needs the information right now, and it's an urgent thing. But at the same time, the video needs to be excellent quality. It needs to be put together well, it needs to be filmed well, and I need to make sure that I say all that needs to be said, or at least all that can be said in such a short amount of time. The timing is not right. I'm still recording these videos on my phone. I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right software for editing. I still don't know much about editing. So the video that I could make today will not be the same quality of video that I'll be able to make even just a few short months from now. And if the video is important enough to make today, then it's important enough to make then. So my question for you today is, what is it that you have faced? What roadblocks have you run into on something that you think is so urgent, that it needs to be done right now, but all the world is telling you, all the signs and signals and voices of the people around you are saying, not yet. What's that for you? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see that video when I do come out with it, click subscribe. Maybe you're on the other side of waiting. You had to wait for a little while, and that time is over now, and you've been able to do what it is you felt was important. And tell me in the comments below why you feel it was important that you had to wait. Because we all get stuck in this place between urgency and waiting. And it's all a matter of God's time. We don't understand it. We certainly want to question it sometimes. But nonetheless, it's okay. Others have been here before. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen right now. Again, I'm Pastor Jacob, and I hope you have a blessed week.